Frozen iguanas falling from trees during cold snap in Florida. Good evening. It's the 4th of January, 2018, our first show of 2018. Welcome to the garage. With me tonight, Walt Campos. Say hello, Walter.
What's up, John?
If Thaddeus Smith may be joining us at some point tonight, if he's able to dig himself through the storm. So, while the Northeast is getting hammered by a bomb cyclone, which is a massive winter storm with hurricane winds, which is horrible. It's actually so cold in Florida that parts had snow for the first time in 28 years. And the iguanas can't take it. Apparently, they get paralyzed by the cold and drop where they lay. Then people think they're dead and try to pick them up, and the iguanas warm up and attack them. Yeah.
They had it coming.
Yeah, so, I have them on my campus all over the place. You should see some of these fucking things. They're enormous. I mean, big fuckers.
I've seen them. I've seen them up close in St. Martin. They're actually swimming in the pool.
Yeah. All right. So you know, man. Right, and they're enormous. They're big.
And I fed them watermelon. They're ginormous. There's one we called Godzilla. Because the thing looked like a fucking dragon or something.
They have them on my campus that are that big that on a regular basis they're just laying out there. And when they run across the road, you stop. Everyone stops.
Right. Because
of that thing. I mean, they have giant claws. They will bite you. They're not meat eaters. They can't. They don't play. That tail. Yeah, that tail hits you, you're gonna hurt. If they scratch you, and they can give you salmonella, so you'd be running to the hospital with the shits or something.
Great. Wait, I've never heard of a bomb cyclone. I've never heard of this. This is like some made up.
Yeah,
it's made up. I'm convinced.
I've never heard of it. But it sounds, because that's what they said. It's hurricane force winds and storm surge. So it's basically like a hurricane in the winter. So instead of all the rain, you get snow. Which
right.
On one side, you get all that rain and the hurricane. That's part of what causes the flood. So that makes it worse. Yeah. But the snow, it's you're covered in snow. It takes a while for that to melt. So hopefully a lot of that flood water resides by the time that happens. But the cold, you lose power in 3 degrees. People are gonna die.
Oh, forget it. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's the last thing we need is for the power to go out right now.
You're gonna be hearing stories for I don't know, a month later about people that were found frozen to death in their house.
Man, that is
horrible.
Not funny, but it's funny at the same time. But it's absurd. It is. But yeah, I mean, I've you've lived in New York long enough in your day. I mean, you've seen some nasty weather here, and it's every fucking winter, man.
That's why I'm down here.
What's up?
Yeah. That's why I'm down here.
That's why you're down there. Yeah, exactly. And now you're getting it down there. So,
Yeah. Although, I mean, people freak out. They're oh my God, it's so cold, because these people are, they don't know.
Right. They're not
I remember it was 41 degrees this morning here, and it's cold. You notice it when you wake up in the morning. But in New York, I remember getting off the train at 57th and 7th Avenue and walking down this one of the buildings has a thermostat up there.
Right. And
I remember looking up, seeing 41 degrees and thinking, oh, it's warm today.
Exactly. Oh, here it's about 4 degrees right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cold until there's a frozen puddle behind your shortstop.
When you can't play ball, then it's cold. Absolutely.
It's yeah. So I mean, I always should wake up where it was so cold in the morning. I always have to wake up at 5 in the morning to go to work. It would be so cold, your nipples hurt.
Yeah, of course.
I would whimper. It was grown men whimpering. I mean, who needs that?
Don't try running.
Horrible. So, a 5-foot snake was found hiding in a toilet. A vlogger with a YouTube series called Life on the Ranch pulled a big old rat snake out of the crapper in North Brazos County, Texas.
Jesus.
Rat snakes aren't poisonous, but they don't attack humans, but they can get to be 10 feet long, and they will bite you if you fuck with it. But it's a popular pet.
They can crush you though. They can't bite you. They can crush you, right?
I don't know. I guess I don't know if it's a restrictor. I mean, only restrictors are going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it might be.
Yeah.
I think it's I forget what fucking snake family it said.
Right,
I had
right.
one. I had one. Like
Yeah.
I had a California king snake. Not a rat snake. I had a California king snake, and they eat rattlesnakes and shit like that in the wild. And it was pretty cool. And he was strong. You could feel the strength in him when he wrapped between your hands and stuff. But I had a boa once that was like,
Right.
it was like 6 inches long, right? And it would, it was small if it would wrap between your fingers.
Right.
But when he decided to close your fingers, you couldn't get them apart. There was nothing you wanted you were going to do to open up your fingers from this thing, closing your fingers together. And he was like tiny, little.
Right. Right. Wow.
You know?
That thing's already strong.
So, yeah, they're crazy. I mean, they're cool animals. I stopped owning them because I couldn't deal with feeding the mice anymore.
You couldn't deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things. One, I had like a 3-day rule. If the fucking mouse was able to live in the tank for 3 days, it got to live. You know, and I had a couple escape. You know, they were great escape artists, so they get to live. I kept them. You know, but some of the snakes, they won't eat the frozen mice. So you got to get a mouse, and you got to put it in a bag, and you got to wrap it against a wall or something. Whack, break its head, you know, like crush its brain, and then throw it in the cage, and the snake will eat it because it's still warm. But
wow,
yeah, but it's a pretty horrible thing, and you know, I guess I'm turning into a pacifist.
You
right? Yeah. But I mean, at least the house that they talk about in there, and you could look at it online. I haven't seen it. But what would you do if it was abandoned, the house, but a 5-foot snake in your toilet?
I don't know what I would do. I'd probably never go into that house ever again.
I don't know if you'd have if you didn't notice it. It was hard enough. The guy said it was hard to get him out, right? And they were afraid of ripping the thing's head off when they took him out, right? So if he was wedged in there, and you sit down to take a shit, like your balls are dangling like mouth level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not much for a pow.
Yeah, no, exactly.
5-foot fucking snake biting your balls. Ooh.
It wasn't a cobra, right?
Well, I don't figure a cobra. It can fucking shoot the venom up your ass and kill you. It doesn't. They can kill you from 30 feet away.
Oh my god! That from 30 feet away.
Cobra. Yeah, cobra could spit venom on you from 30 feet away and kill you. Yeah.
That is the sickest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, and then you have some fuckers sticking their hands in jars to pull them out. Get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck? The hell, you know? And then there's the guys who are doing the.
Right. Well, you know what?
They play.
They're snake charmers. That comes from India, no?
Right.
Yeah, they got 65 million people so dirty nobody will look at them. So it's no wonder they do shit like that.
I don't know if this is true, but there's like stories that I've heard where like in India people fall asleep or they're drunk or something, and then next thing you know they've been like swallowed by a giant fucking snake.
Yeah, I would doubt that's true. I mean, most of India is jungle. You know, it's not the cities anymore.
They know that it happened because the snake's fucking huge all of a sudden. Like they've got like, you can tell that they've got like a human being in them inside them. So, that's
also the most sacred river there is full of disease, and people they get baptized in the same river that's floating with like cow shit in it.
Joy.
Yeah, it's a dirty, dirty place. Yeah, so I expect things like snake charming, you know, because what value do you have in life?
No offense to the people who are watching this from India or anything, but
right, not that there's anything wrong with being a dirty bastard. No,
just alienated 900 million people.
You know, and worse, it's like 1.2 billion.
Oh my god.
Yeah, between them and China, they have half the population of the planet or some shit like that.
Oh
but you know what, though? I mean, they still have a caste system. They still have untouchables. They literally have more than 60 million people that are like, imagine 60 million homeless people in the U.S. and you're not even allowed to give them a nickel for, to save up for a cup of coffee. They don't even
You're
look
not
at them.
allowed.
Because the caste system. You associate with these people, you're a dirty fucker too.
Right. That's
It's sick.
on words.
So that's why, like, all the offenses of the world, it's like all the stuff they just talk about. Oh, you can't offend, not Muslims, but the Muslims that believe in the Sharia law, and the ones that come from these fucked up places where they fucking stone people to death and they fucking kill children. You're killing children. I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You come from a place that has a system where no matter what it is, you're always going to be a dirtbag, no matter who you are. Well, I'm not worried about offending you anymore.
Right, exactly.
Because you look at
you
these
want Sharia courts in the United States. I mean, that's
right. You have millions of people that you don't even consider human, and you're going to be upset because I pointed it out.
Right.
Fuck off.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel about that. Yeah.
Exactly. Little
angry show tonight, huh?
Yeah, right. What's going on? What's good? What's up?
I don't know.
It's the bomb cyclone, man. It's doing.
It must be it. Anybody mentions bomb around me, I get upset. And snow, I get even more upset because I hate this shit.
Right.
Your snow is great. Snow is great when you're kicked you out of school, but the minute you dig your car out, fuck you.
Snow looks good on It's a Wonderful Life or something, but
right when it's not real.
If I have to shovel this shit, forget it. I pass. Right. So
although I want to like if I how they have like space heaters, the electric heaters with the coils and shit.
Yeah.
Why don't they have that in a tube where you just fucking put it on your sidewalk and let it melt the snow for you? You plug it in, melt the fucking snow for you. It's fucking.
I know they have like a heated floor, like some rich people do. Like they have like a heated like driveway.
I would absolutely do that.
Yeah, and when it snows, they turn that on and it melts the snow. So
exactly, you don't have to worry about it. Fuck you.
Yeah, and then you can pull your car out of the garage. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. If you had the ability to have that, I don't know why you wouldn't. In fact, if I lived up there, I don't know if I'd buy a house without being able to put that in.
Yeah.
At least something.
No, exactly.
Rock salt. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
So, an elderly couple says 60 pounds of pot for Christmas gifts. An 80-year-old man and 83-year-old woman were arrested in York, Nebraska during a routine traffic stop, and they were found with they found the bags in the back seat. Can't imagine what 60 pounds of pot looks like. Like, how do you fit that in the car?
I don't know. Was it in the trunk?
Was it? It was they couldn't. It was routine traffic stop, so it had to be in the back seat.
Oh, it had. See, they should have put it in the trunk.
Like, right, because like you pull over an 80-year-old man driving. This is old people, man. You pull over an old people, and for like a broken taillight or something, you're not going to search them. You're not going to search. Although I will say, 60 pounds of pot probably smells pretty funky.
Sure it does.
You did that. Probably has a waft.
Sure. You should have offered the cops some.
Like a fat guy in the summer. There's a it's noticeable. They're there.
And they were what, 80 and 83?
80 and 83.
Nice.
For my cataracts.
Now, maybe they have some sort of disease.
It's true.
It should have been prescribed. That's how you get away with it.
Or maybe
prescription.
Or maybe at 83 years old, they just built up a hell of a tolerance.
And they need that much, right?
Officer, what do you mean? This is me and her for the weekend.
Yeah, that's got to be for a party, man. It can't just be.
Right?
There's a party they had to get to, for sure.
Does grandma know how to party or what?
That's the coolest grandma.
60 pounds. What were they doing? I bet you know what they were doing? They were going to the high school. They were going to dump it in the high school lunch. They were going to dump it in the sloppy joes.
Yeah, maybe she's a school aide or something.
You know, hey, here you go, kids. Have a party on me. Sloppy joes.
Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Mary Jane.
So get this one. You'll like this. You'll hear this. Gatorade banned and fined $300K for bad mouthing water. And you're going to love this. But even though it kind of went on I wouldn't say political, a little tirade there. I got a little angry there. I'm going to ask you to try to keep the politics to a minimum this one. But you love this guy. The California Attorney General, Xavier Becerra. I'm sure you heard the name. I'm sure you love him. He sued Gatorade because of an app they made where you play as you are Usain Bolt, you know, the fastest man in the world, and you have to catch the Gatorade. But you have to avoid the water because it slows you down.
Right.
The Attorney General for California, and this guy is specifically Los Angeles because I've read enough about him, has sued Gatorade because they made a game where you get Gatorade and avoid water because water slows you down. And he sued them for $300,000. They settled for $120,000.
They settled them.
It cost them $120,000 to make a game. Like, if you have that much time in your hands, what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. I mean, and it doesn't. I mean, this stuff should surprise me, but California's fucked.
I know.
California has.
You want to learn.
The people there.
You won't arrest illegal immigrants, but you'll sue Gatorade for bad mouthing water.
Exactly. Our sanctuary state.
You know. Right. Again, not to get into the politics of it. We don't want to go too far to that because there's a bunch of people who hate us right now. But that's all right.
There's plenty of nice Californians, I'm sure.
Probably. No, they're very nice. I mean, that's the problem. They're too nice. At least what they want you to think that they're nice. At least when they're not molesting your daughter.
Right. They're too busy surfing. They gotta, they've got parties to get to. They've got, they've got to chill out.
Yeah.
Get some chilling out.
Take a hot sticky bath in maple syrup.
Nice.
There's a hot springs theme park near Tokyo where real maple syrup is poured into the baths 3 times a day to keep the tubs hot and sticky. You could soak yourself in them. It's done to celebrate the 60th anniversary of a Japanese pancake mix.
You know what? Talk about partying. The Japanese know how to fucking party, and
weird fuckers.
And I'm serious about that, by the way. They can freaking party.
They have animation.
They'll turn it into something.
They have animation of like plants raping chicks, and this is what they watch. This is what they watch at like 8 o'clock at night. We watch TV shows. They watch cartoons of plants raping chicks.
Sounds like family viewing to me.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't surprise me that they've also tried to do this with ramen, like soup. I don't know. You throw yourself into a giant. You're cooking yourself. You're throwing yourself into a fucking pot of soup.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's something wrong with that. There's just something not right about that.
They're weird, but it's funny because the Asians are supposedly have the highest IQs on the planet. So
maybe what gives ramen the flavor is somebody's dipping his balls in the back. Maybe that's what makes it ramen is the person boiling in it.
They're onto something, we just don't get it, they're the ones that are onto something.
What are you tasting there? Sweat. Horrible.
Hey man, they know that and they know how to bunt. Come on.
Yeah, well, if you think the bunt is an efficient play. Not many people believe in it anymore.
No, they got their plays down.
Yeah. So I mean, that was it for the topics. Good that we read through them pretty quickly. But I don't know. Yeah. I threw a bunch of these together. There's one other thing that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot what the fuck it is. So it couldn't have been too good.
Couldn't have been too important.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, so there you go. That was the show. It's over.
Well, you said it was going to be a short one.
I did. I told you. Well, to be honest with you, though, I don't know how long we're on here, and so far right now, and we're looking to do something in the 15-minute to 30-minute range. Maybe 5 topics is a little too much for 15 minutes. But or maybe you want to get topics you can get more in depth on. I wasn't sure how these would go.
Yeah, these were short and sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of just throwing stuff out there, just like general conversation. And I think that's what we're gonna, more for you too.
That's how it should. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, all of our radio heroes, like Howard Stern, normalized just talking about his life.
Right.
So, we bring up a little news, we bring up a little bullshit, whatever.
Sounds good.
So what's going on with you? How's the album coming along?
Good. I've decided to. I'm aiming high here, but I've decided to come out with three albums.
3 albums. How don't you work on the first one first, fucker?
Yeah. No. Yeah. The first one is coming out. It's coming out soon. And then the last 2 are coming out together at the end of the year. So, here's my thought process. If I aim high and I aim for 3 and I get 1 or 2 out of it, then hey, I went years without doing anything. So I'm looking at just kind of aim up here, and if I'm somewhere down here, then it went well.
Just don't let the great be the enemy of the good.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
You got to get shit out there. Like one of the things that, and ladies and gentlemen, at this point here, when you're, if you're watching this, fuckface, yeah, we haven't been going live yet, so a lot of these, if you're seeing this, you're seeing it in post-production, and we got to get to the point where we're throwing out there when we know when, good is good enough, and start getting out there and start getting a following.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the problem that we have is most of us are paralyzing ourselves thinking that it's not great. Well, nothing starts, nothing gets there by just, not doing anything.
Exactly. And, I had to make a lot of decisions lately. Basically, it's the running time for this one that's coming out is about 30 minutes. So it's more like an EP rather than an album.
Okay.
So I held a couple things back. But it's all right. When I made that decision to hold a couple songs back for, to be worked on later, it kind of made sense. So the actual album kind of flows better because of it. So these, I'm gonna put these out there, and then I'm gonna shoot some YouTube videos, and then that'll be that, And
I'm sure we'll have them up on our page.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm gonna play them live.
How hard was that for you to cut out a couple of songs? How hard was that for you to make that decision?
Incredibly hard, because I spent like years trying to perfect these songs that just they are what they are, and they can't be, there's not anything that I tried to do to it just didn't work overall. I wasn't happy with it. It also kind of hurts that the console that I originally recorded them from is fried. So so I can't get the originals anymore. I can't get the original tracks. So that kind of hurt a little bit. So everything that I tried to do was actually post production, just trying to clean up the master, and it was nearly impossible. So my options were either keep them as they are or actually re-record them. And trying to re-record this stuff is insane because you know, so much time has gone by. I can't play them. So
so I mean, that's a rough thing. That's a rough thing. You know, and I guess guys that are in bands that are playing, you know, out there, it's just that they're playing them all the time. That's why they do it. Although, I mean, you hear plenty of famous stories like George Harrison couldn't play his own songs, so he had to bring Eric Clapton in to play the tracks on them because he wasn't good enough to play the songs that he wrote. You know, things like that. But that's not you though. So that's, you know, I mean, and you obviously you've played it, you know. So
yeah. I have an easier time figuring out other people.
Really?
Figuring out songs for other people than I do for myself, because a lot of stuff that I did back then was kind of experimental. So it was experimental for me. So so I actually have to I put my MP3s into software, and I have them, and I slow them all down. I slow them all down so I can hear every note, and I write them down because it's all over the place. Some of it was improvised, and you know, there's all sorts of different things that I tried and that worked, and then being years removed from it, it's like some of it I don't even play that way anymore, you know, because you kind of you evolve, or you kind of change a little bit as you grow, and then to revert back to a lot of it was I recorded in my 20s when I was like really like deep metalhead, you know, type stuff. So you know, and I can still play them provided that like I kind of mindset, and it's not always easy because that's the 25-year-old me, you know, that's the 28-year.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I have that's one of the things I had a hard time finishing VPI because I started writing the book when I was 19, you know, and it was and I mostly was writing it to fuck around with my, you know, like basically writing around things that I was actually doing and to just joke around and to entertain people at work. And then, you know, it got to be good, but then I put it down for a long time, and then I started writing again when I was in my mid-20s, and I was a different person. And then I put it down again, and then I finished it in my early 30s. But you're lucky you told me, like, I was a completely different person in each part. So that, like, there are sections of it, and you could probably tell reading it. I don't know that I can. That yeah, I am a different person each time, so it's hard to go back to being the 19-year-old juvenile idiot and writing about juvenile idiots because you don't even think the same anymore. So it gets a little bit rough, and then the parts where you don't, you're like, man, this is pretty terrible that I'm, you know, that this is something I did. Even though I actually love that book, it's a lot of fun. But then I also have this other thing too, which is tough for editing. And you should never edit your own stuff, which is what's difficult for you going through is because you should never edit your own stuff. You literally can't see your mistakes. You know, you're blind. The thing is that one is that you go over it so often in your mind before you even actually write it down that you're bored of it by the time you're done with it. And to go back and edit, you know, when I first, because I'm what Vonnegut would call a banger. You know, I think about each individual line and I word it exactly the way I wanted to word it. So it's hard. You know, it's like giving birth. Once it's out, and you're done.
Right.
And you thought about it so much before that you put it on there that you don't want to go back to do it, bother with it again. That's it. I'm done. It's out. So to go back is fucking painful.
It's tough. And there, you know, I'm sure it's the same with you. Is that you know, albums should be snapshots in time.
Yeah.
You know, and that should be it. And to go back there, you really have to relive that. You have to relive, and that's what's so hard about it. You know, and I end up hearing everything. I end up, like you said, you end up being bored. I end up hating it all. because I've heard it so much, and then
Right. Yeah.
I don't want this shit out,
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah. You're your own worst critic, and it's impossible to sell something to somebody that you're not passionate about. So it's it makes it real tough. Yeah, because it is. It's like you're sick of hearing your own voice after a while.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. That's a rough one. That's a rough one to get past.
Yeah,
Like my book, right? Which is real tough. I started writing it before people had cell phones, before when everybody still had dial-up internet.
right.
When everyone had answering machines and you still had to call their house. That's when I started writing the book. So it's
Right.
real hard to not only is it real hard to go back and put yourself in that mindset, but the early parts of that book, it's full of those references. So you're going to go back and read that now, and it's like there's one line where Pellegrino's talking to a guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I heard a friend of mine has something he could make movies and everything with his, and like now you can do that on your fucking cell phone."
Right, right. That's funny. At least you can, when you do when you write books or do movies or even in music, you kind of do that little time warp, so you can go back in time. So these references, people can say, oh, okay, well this took place back in a certain time, and
I do I do have a problem with
and you can
consistency like that with myself, and I don't know if it's because I am burnt out, like I'm a burnout, or if
right,
because I am mentally lazy. I don't know. Maybe a combination of both. But I have a hard time going back in my mind and remembering those things. And then it's like it's only when I'm trying to make somebody else who doesn't even remember that stuff remember that I remember. You know, but you need a point of reference to draw you to it.
right, exactly.
Crazy. Yeah, I want to get back into I want to get into writing something again, but I don't know what. I don't. I have stories in mind, but I don't see them. You got to see the see it, and I'm not
Right,
seeing it.
right, right. So you get a mental picture, or do you get like, is it a moving picture or is it like a still picture, and then you
My
write
f-
what your still
my
picture
favorite thing to do, my favorite
shows?
way to write, the way that I have the most fun is when it's either whether I think of it or it pops into my head, something makes me think of just something, a great line, a great conversation, an awesome scene, right? And I write the scene. I have the scene, and then maybe I get another one down the road, a little bit, and I write that scene.
Right,
And then I think to myself, well, how can I make this scene and this scene connect? What can I do in between to make these two things work together?
right,
And then, and that's how I start building plot points like that. So the story kind of like when I write, I can't say what anybody else does. And I've gotten into arguments with writers because everybody's a writer. But I've gotten into arguments with people about this and, oh, what's your theme? And, a lot of people they say if you have your theme in mind that you can keep truer to the story, can guide you through. Except that sometimes the story is just about what the fuck happened. Hey, guess what? This fucking happened.
right,
And I think you're getting a little pretentious, and I think it could be a little try hard when you're doing that.
right,
Whereas opposed to where I just kind of like in one particular argument that I remember getting into, I said somebody tried to point out, oh, I could point out the theme in anything, and that's true. You could point out the theme in anything, but I said, yeah, but that's not necessarily a slasher film. What's the theme of a Friday the 13th movie? Right? What's the theme of Friday the 13th? You tell me what the theme is. What's
right.
the message of the movie?
Don't get slashed.
Yeah, right.
Right,
You know,
don't that
so
guy in a mask.
and so a clever fellow tried to get me by pulling up interviews with the guy who actually wrote Friday the 13th. And he said that and the guy says absolutely there's a theme. So the guy is the guy I was arguing with is saying, well, the writer, you said there's no theme in slasher films, and the writer says, oh, there's absolutely a theme. But then 2 lines later, the writer says, I don't think I was conscious of what the theme was at the time.
There you go.
Exactly, because the theme emerges, and the theme is different for everyone. That's why in high school, when they ask you to do a fucking report on this stupid fucking book that you never wanted to read in the first place,
Right.
one of the things they ask you is the theme, and everybody has a different answer because
Right.
it's subjective.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, exactly. I have a similar thing when I teach a lot of kids or students. I mean, they could be adults too, but mostly teenage kids are in that age where they're getting into bands and they want to do original music, and they're having a tough time writing songs. Writing songs was never a hard thing for me. It was always recording them and putting them out is the hard part. But the writing part it's a lot of fun for me because most of it is just improv, just improvising, and I'm just writing a lot of crap, and then out of that a nugget will come out. So when it gets too tough, I always go back to the thing that I enjoy the most listening to. And for me, I'm a big melody guy. So I always zero in on the melody. When I'm getting too complicated with everything and everything's just too progressive and it's too overwhelming, I zero in on the melody, and that melody gets me through. So that's, it's a similar thing to, the theme, it just emerges, the melody just emerges out of improv.
What's funny about that? It's like most writers, and this is why I'm not a successful writer. But most writers they try to have the grand sweeping prose, and they have all these famous people that they're famous other writers that they're into. Oh, this wonderful writer. Yes, I just wanted to be just like them. And I write popcorn. I don't give a shit. I write popcorn. I like this kind of stuff that when you had a hard day at work and you're getting on the train, you want to read about elves and magic and fairies and shit like that because it's another world that you have to think about your rent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And actually, I haven't even actually written any of that. All my stuff is comic book stuff with fart and shit, dick jokes. Kind of like Kevin Smith. But my favorite way to come up with those scenes, I used to like to listen to the radio before I went to sleep. Low, real low, just where you could barely make out the lyrics. So it wasn't loud, so it was keeping you up. You could barely make out the lyrics though, and it got to a point where it was like kind of cheap or something like that.
Right.
Relaxing. But I would lay in bed and I would think to myself, listening to this song, if this song was in a movie, because I never wanted to be a movie writer. I wanted to write for fucking Saturday Night Live. I wanted to write skits for Saturday Night Live. I didn't want to be a book writer. I wanted to write for Saturday Night Live and maybe make movies.
Right now, by the way, Saturday Night Live. There's a lot of crap on that.
I don't think I wanted. That's a dream from when I was a 15-year-old kid, and the show, and that's with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey on that show. I wouldn't want any part of it now. Now it's nonsense. Now it's the same nonsense as all the other shit, CNN and all the other garbage is crap. Yeah, I don't want to hear people's political opinions on funny shows. I'm here for me to laugh, not to get all pissed off about nonsense.
Right. Exactly.
Enough people piss me off with nonsense not to have it on Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To me, because I was, I was a little guy in school, but I'd be the first person to punch you in the face. But to me, it was because of that though. I was everything. I was the class clown. It was all about making fun of all of this stuff, all of it. And they've gotten to be part of it instead of being satire and making fun of everything that happens. They pick and choose what they're making fun of to prove a point, and it's pointed politically. It's and I want no part of that.
Right.
But I digress. I used to think if this song was on, if I was watching a movie and this song was on in the movie, like a montage scene, be happening. What would be happening right now in this scene, in this movie, if this song was playing? And that's a great way to come up with scenes, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
I can see that. Not even being a writer or not even being a director or anything. I can even see that, like a montage happening over a song,
Yeah.
and somebody's getting shit done, right?
I wish we had a fucking montage. I wish we could montage right to fucking money. I want a montage right to getting paid.
The OJ song, or
I'm not sure, but I think I montaged myself into my marriage.
hey man, and look how that worked.
Oh, well, yeah, well, I mean, I worked is the optimum word.
What did you see? What did you montage when you envisioned being married?
It was probably Beast of Burden, but it was but it kind of the opposite of that. Where it's ironic. It's Beast of Burden while you're getting the packages loaded on your back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So irony works.
Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't even thought about that until this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've had an epiphany here.
No, my wife is good. She deals with my shit. So, I guess I deal
Yeah,
with
she's good people, definitely.
Look, the one thing that's good about like us, and it's because like I met my wife. For the viewers out there, I met my wife real quick. We got married real quick. We started a family real quick, and it's like from the moment that we met, it's been a whirlwind. Like all kinds of you can't get your feet under you without some huge change coming. Another kid, another move, another job. It's like we have not had a chance to take a breath or get our feet under us. And a lot of that, because everything was so quick, we're still learning to get to know each other on the fly.
Wow.
And not have a lot of people, and I think a lot of people get divorced because of this, because they have they get to know each other before they get married, but it's all in the fun times sense.
Right.
Whereas we're kind of just like thrown in the fire, and those good times where you get to just be the two of you and not have to worry about all the worries of the stress of family life and all that. We get the few and far between, but whenever we do, it's great. So I think that we're kind of battle tested, and we're both very practical. Marriage is doing the laundry on a fucking Tuesday night with holes in your sweats. It's fucking puking in the toilet and somebody having to fucking take care of you. It ain't going out to all these fancy dinners and fucking crazy times. That's what I mean. That's a fucking fantasy.
Who's got time for that shit?
I'm sure when you get older, man, you don't even want to deal with it. I avoid things just so I don't have to fucking deal with coming back from wherever it is. I literally won't go to places anymore because I don't want to deal with traffic on the way home.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah,
you are with the snow.
Oh, forget it. And I got every parkway over here by me. Like I have access to every single park.
Yeah,
and they're all.
You're in a good spot because of but those are actually the good highways where you're at over there. So that's actually a good spot. Down here, they're fucking crazy. I've never seen South Florida has the worst driving I've ever seen in my life, and I lived in Vegas, so that's hard to say. Vegas is there's a deadly crash every single day, and South Florida is worse.
Oh my gosh! I remember what was it? 2 years ago, I was in Miami, and you were gonna come out to see me, but then you found out I was in Miami, and you were like, "Oh shit, that's like 3 hours of driving from me."
At that time, yeah, the time I would have been leaving. Yeah, wow, was that 2 years ago?
It was like Friday night or something. It was like
on a Friday rush hour to Friday night into Manhattan, into Miami. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Now if you wait till like 7
Yeah.
o'clock, it's a lot better. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's not Atlanta traffic, but it ain't good.
Right.
Plus, it's lunatics. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Are there a lot of swamps out there that you drive through, or?
You kind of drive over them. Everything's a swamp. It's like in your yard.
Right, it's built over a swamp, right?
If I dig like 4 feet into the dirt, you're hitting the water line. So you can't have basements here because you'll be flooded.
Right.
Yeah, so it's all swamp, and it's weird too because like the water doesn't seep into the ground. So if you want to have a garden, if you want plants and shit like that,
Yeah.
you have to actually have them raised in beds because the water won't seep into the ground; it'll wash right over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, there's something crazy that happened over here, in front of my house over here. As you know, I live on the second floor, right, of a 2-family house. There's a family that lives underneath me, and they Con Edison came down one day because we were smelling what we thought was a gas leak. We were smelling gas and we couldn't find it. Turns out that there's a pipe that was underneath. They came down one day and they dug the earth, and went underneath and found out that there was a gas leak. So they're down there one day and they're fixing it, and all of a sudden the water main breaks.
Oh.
Now, yeah, I saw them. I was watching them through the window, and they kind of panicked when it happened. I thought it was them. Now they claim it wasn't them. All of a sudden they're trying to fix a gas leak, and all of a sudden the water main breaks. It just seemed too coincidental.
Right.
So, but they claim it wasn't them and the whole thing. So the people downstairs, their basement started flooding, and I mean, it was insane. I mean, the amount of everything was just like their couches, everything was fucking drenched. Everything was just underwater, and
that's called summer here.
It's called summer. So they fixed the water main, but basically we didn't have water for like 3 days though. That's how long it took them to fix everything. Also, in digging the earth, digging around in there, they moved basically bugs came into the house.
Oh.
So they went downstairs, and from downstairs they started coming upstairs. And
are you sure that your downstairs neighbors weren't like killing Jews or something, and that's the 7 plagues of Egypt?
I wouldn't doubt it, but
so they're those kind of neighbors. No wonder why the rent is affordable.
I don't know. I don't think it was that, but tons and tons of different types of bugs that I can't even describe to you what they look like because I've never seen them before. Started into my apartment.
I'm used to
that. And you're used to that?
Yeah, that's Florida.
I got so much Raid. I had like every single can of Raid, and I'm like, it started getting sporting after a while. It was just killing people, just killing all these things. But I mean, all of this started because there was a gas leak in the outside, and it turned into the water main, which led to the bugs, and I'm still feeling the ill effects of that, and that was 3 months ago.
It's horrible. Down here, if you use Raid on the bugs, they line up for whippets. they like it down here. It's like a rush. It's like for the bugs down here, Raid is like it's like sniffing markers.
They can't wait for the hit.
Right, exactly. Horrible. Yeah, we have a lot of fruit trees. The fruit that are baby my existence. Horrible. Down here, like
this kind of fruit tree.
I have it's called a Nespero tree. It's like a Cuban kiwi, I think they call it, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it tastes like rum. It's weird. It's a fruit that tastes like rum. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Um, but
Somebody planted it, or
they haven't ordered this down here. But if somebody plants a fruit tree, you're not allowed to cut it down,
Mhm.
and or something like that. I don't know, some crazy shit like that. So
Right.
rotten, have bugs everywhere. It's disgusting. It's horrible. And then I'm dragging heavy ass bags of fucking rotted fruit to the garbage can. It's just a mess. I fucking hate it. The fruit of the bane of my existence. The worst part about Florida is the fucking fruit.
Wow. And sanitation twice a week?
They come twice a week, but like I have to yell at them. So Christmas they come. They don't pick up the garbage, and it's Christmas. It's understandable, even though everybody put out their garbage because you never know when these fuckers are going to get a day off. So, and if you don't
Right.
put the garbage out for them to take it, you're screwed. So this year they don't come on Christmas. Now, a normal place in New York City, if they don't come on Christmas, they're not going to leave your food garbage there for a week in the fucking heat in 80 degrees, 90 degrees. They're not going to do that. It's a health hazard. So they're going to send somebody the next day. But here they don't do that. So we had to wait a week. So we had to wait a week for them to. So Christmas is on, what, Monday this year it was? We had to wait till Thursday for them to show up to fucking pick up the stuff. Right? And so the guy comes and I have boxes sitting. I have a recycling bin and this box is sitting outside. And these lazy bastards don't get out of their truck and throw the stuff in there. It's just a mechanical arm that grabs the bin and throws it up into the truck and then they take off.
Gotcha.
And this prick wouldn't even wait. He wouldn't wait 2 seconds in his truck where he didn't get out for me to put new stuff. He wouldn't even let me toss it over the side into the truck.
Right.
No, one can and that's it. And they left. One fucking can. Meanwhile, like New York sanitation is free. Here, we got to pay for that shit. We got to pay for you to pick up. And these bastards are constantly finding reasons not to take our garbage. So, like, I had to call the supervisors. I'm constantly having to call supervisors to, I pick up my garbage or I'm going to call the state department. Because it's a violation of health, And there's only one game in town. It's not like you can pick a private carrier. Like Long Island, it's a private thing, I think. Right. But you get to pick which guys you want to come get your garbage. You know what I mean? So like I had to call like 3 different supervisors. I had to call the customer service line. I had to threaten everybody that I'm going to call everyone in the state, and then I'd scream and yell for like an hour. I mean, they came and got my fucking garbage, but it's a pain in the ass. Now imagine, and that does happen in the summer because that fruit is heavy.
Right.
And these fuckers get lazy and they don't want to take it. Can you imagine having rotted fruit sitting on your fucking lawn for 10 days because they don't want to take it?
Oh my god! You know what they're doing here is they have we have like brown containers now. Have you heard about this shit?
Oh, really? No, I haven't heard this.
Yeah. So now we have regular garbage cans, we have the recycled cans, and now we have brown cans. And these brown cans, you're supposed to put food in it. So you put like excess food that you're not eating anymore. You put it into those containers. That gets recycled. So wait,
you had to put your old rotted food you had to give your old rotted food to the brown one.
Yeah, into the brown one. Yeah.
Sounds pretty fucking racist to me, man.
I didn't think of that, but yeah.
Right? You got to give your old shit to the brown one. That's fucked up.
The brown one. Yeah, exactly. And it's just such a pain in the ass because you got to scoop it all out and the whole thing, and it's just
So you can't.
Blasio's got it.
So wait a minute, you can't even put it into a plastic bag and put it in there. You have to put straight food.
No. Yeah. If you put it in the regular garbage, and they find it, you're gonna get fined. So the food has to go into the brown.
Wait a minute. So
container.
But the food has to be put in a separate garbage can than like toilet paper.
Then regular garbage,
yeah. And it has to be. Yeah. It can't even. Wait a minute. It's not even in. You can't even put it in a plastic bag.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's like a inside the brown container. There's like another box that you put the food in. So yeah. So it's they actually give you the container to put it in.
But you
But
can't put it in a plastic bag. You can't put it in like a Walmart bag.
I'm
And then
not
take it out.
I'm not sure. I think if you have too much of it, I think you can. I think you're allowed to if you set it alongside with the brown container. So you have to make it known to
You've
the
got to be
sanitary.
shitting me.
I'm not shitting you, man. I'm not
What do you
shitting
do if you live in a
They,
fucking apartment building?
yeah, exactly. You're right on the money there. I don't know what happens to them, but yeah, right.
You know, I was in Bay Ridge before we left. I was in Bay Ridge for 2 years, and most of the buildings over there are fucking big ass apartment buildings, like hundreds of units. You have hundreds of fucking people living in one building. What are they all gonna fucking stand over the one can and scrape their fucking tuna fish can into it?
Exactly.
That's fucking disgusting. Nothing.
Yeah, some of them have like furnaces or something. I think they burn it or something, which isn't good. Isn't good anyway. So
that's ridiculous.
That's not good for you either. So no matter what you do, it's not good enough. So what's
I'm
the
glad
point?
I fucking left.
Exactly. So I don't know. The more they think they're going forwards, the more they're going back.
Well, it's not a matter of going back; it's a matter of going ass back.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you're not going backwards; you're going ass backwards. You're a fucking retard.
Absolutely.
And like,
That's
exactly what are you hoping to accomplish? My 4-year-old daughter. You know what I've started doing with her, because she's 4, so she's a little out of control. She's a little spoiled, but those are temper tantrums. So I've been asking her, what do you hope to accomplish by doing this? What are you trying to get out of this? What result are you looking for? Because is doing this going to get you this? No? Then why are you doing it?
That's great.
Exactly what are they hoping to accomplish by doing this?
I don't know. I don't speak liberal. So,
yeah, that's retarded. On that note right there, I got to cut out.
Okay.
That is because there's nowhere else to go but that, and that's insane. And it's late, and it's time to, I gotta take care of some shit before I go to sleep. But that's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, good night.